In our video today, I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite early reader series, the Bob books. And I'm going to talk about whether or not they are right for your child and how to use them. Hey you guys, it's Christina from the Purple Alphabet. Bob Books. Bob Books are a series of books that we have used with our children to learn to read. They are early readers, and I want to give you some ideas on how to use them with your children or to see if they are a right fit for your child. So we're going to talk about a lot of activities with Bob Books. If you're new here and you would like to, click subscribe so you can see more videos like this. I talk about educational activities, lots of ideas, lots of inspiration, lots of fun, plus giveaways and hauls and shop with me's, all that good stuff too. I would love it if you were to become part of the Purple Alphabet family. Make sure to say hi in the comments so I know you're here. And if you're not new, say hi too. You already know it. I like to read your comments. Because you guys have asked me about early readers, I'm going to focus on the one that I have personally used. There's plenty of them out there, but I do use the Bob Books, or have used the Bob Books in the past. This is not to say that other early readers out there aren't just as good. These are just the ones that I've had experience with and that I have found really effective. So let me show you what Bob Books are. So first I need to show you and explain to you what Bob Books are, just in case you don't know. This is one of the collections, collection 1. I have collection 2 here, and actually these are the only 2 collections I have, because what happens is after they got through these 2, they were pretty good and they didn't even need to go any farther. But there is a full Bob collection set that you can find. Now these I got at Costco, and these are actually the bigger versions. So the Bob Books usually come in a much smaller version, probably kind of the size of my hand, but I like these because they are bigger and they're a great deal, and they come with a couple of little extras that are kind of fun. And so you can find these. I've seen them at Lakeshore Learning, on Amazon. I'm going to put them in my Amazon store for you so you can take a look. I'm going to show you the collection 1 here real briefly so you can get an idea. So here's the collection of books. You can tell from the spines that they have been well loved and well used. Each book is labeled. This one's collection 1, book 1, and it goes all the way up, and they're kind of color coded. So the first section here is red, second section purple, we have green, and like a periwinkle. And then they also include this little sticker sheet that you can use for every time you read a book if you want. So it's kind of a fun little added extra thing. So I'm going to show you how these Bob Books are set up. Each one has its own title, and they're all based on phonetic sounds. So this one's called Matt, and when you open inside, you can see that these books are really simple and basic. So your basic black and white with just a little bit of colors, minimal pictures, and then down here are what you have to read. Now you open it up, you have your title page, but inside this right here, you're going to see what phonetic sounds are being worked on inside this specific book. Now Bob Books are great if your child already knows their phonetic sounds. They're going to be far more prepared to do the Bob Books. If they don't, they'll still be okay. It just might take a little bit longer, but I highly recommend having your phonetic sounds down first prior to starting these books. It just kind of, I've done it both ways, and we just had far more success when we knew all of our sounds before we started. But here's your list of what's going to be covered in this book. In case you wanted to use it in conjunction with learning your phonetic sounds, you can also just kind of refer here and to figure out which ones you need to learn prior to starting this book. But I'm telling you, if they know them, they're going to be far more successful in building these words. So it starts off very simple, using all those phonetic sounds. And the reason why this works if your child already knows their phonetic sounds is because they're going to be able to sound out the words. And when a child sounds out their words first, it's very what would you say, difficult to do. You have to have a lot of patience because they're going letter by letter. S, ah, and it takes a long time before they start blending them together into one word. So your child will most likely just do individual sounds, and then they're going to need to be taught how to blend them together to make a word, or else they're just going to read this they're not going to read Sam. So have some patience with that, but do know that over time it will come and they'll get it, and then blending all those sounds together to make a word. Okay, so I'm walking you through the book here, and you can see how very simple it is to start off. And what we did in our house is we didn't advance to the next books until they have mastered this book, because all the books build upon each other. Let me show you a little bit more advanced one, maybe from book 14 here. Now we have a 2-letter one, up, pup, and same thing, they have their title, and then this one has a little bit longer sentences that combines all of the letter sounds that they used in the previous book. And on the last page here, they have all of the short vowels that they're working on. So you advance pretty quickly from phonetic sounds to different vowel sounds and all sorts of stuff. So that's collection 1. Inside collection 2 has the same thing, and you can see we're a little bit unorganized here, but it has the same thing, all the different colored spines for the different colored books. You also get bookmarks in here that are flying all over. And in the back, we have our list of what they're working on in this book. In this case, it is short vowels, and they have a whole bunch of examples here. And the sentences just get more difficult and difficult, but it all builds. So I think the system, quite frankly, is a great system to work with. I liked it. We had much success with it. And by the time they got to these books, they were pretty much set to start reading other shorter reading books, you know, those early reader books. Another thing that I want to note in the Bob books is they use a lot of repetition, which is really, really important. And so you'll often see the same word used multiple times in one book over and over again, if not in another book later on in the series. And so that repetition really helps reinforce those skills. Now that I've shown you the books, I have some activities that you can use when using these books. So let's say, for example, you're starting off with collection 1, the first book, Matt. Matt's there right on the cover. So one of the things that I think is really cool about kind of reinforcing words that they see in here for that repetition is to go through the book, particularly the smaller ones, take maybe a dry erase magnetic board and some magnetic letters to create and mimic those words. So my magnetic letters, because everybody always asks me, they come from the Target dollar section, and I just bought several sets and put them in a case like this that I got from Walmart. But you know what? There's tons of these. In fact, I like the ones on Amazon that are the red and blue letters. I think they're great, and they're lowercase. So I do recommend those, but this worked for me and it was very affordable. So basically you'd pull the letters out, not the U, you need the M to spell the words that you have in your book. Once again, all about repetition. Here we have Matt, M-at. Also, if you're learning phonetic sounds, a great thing to do is to put the letters M-at and then get them closer together. M-at, so that you can get them blended. And then you go through the whole book that way. You can do this with writing on the board too, which is also great if you want to put some more skills in there. Another thing you can do is you can take that first page and go through all the letter sounds and have them find the letters in their alphabet. So which letter makes the sound, and they have to go and find the M. Don't show them the book, just ask them without the book there. Use the book as your guide so you know what letters you're covering. Kids love that tactile thing, hunting and searching for them. It's also distinguishing the letters from one another, which is a great skill, and it's just really fun. If you go on Pinterest, you will find 100 million zillion free printables and activities to do with Bob books. I promise you. I looked and I pulled off 2 that I thought were kind of fun and that had a lot of meat to them, a lot of activities. So I'm going to put the links to these free printables down below in the description box, as I always do, so you can go straight to them. But there are a lot out there. So this one was really cool because it had all kinds of different aspects in it. So I'm just going to run through this real quick. This one had a read, write, stamp, cut, and paste. Love all these activities. So you have a read, you trace the word here, you can stamp it out with stamp letters, and you can cut and paste these letters here and put them there. I love skills like this. And these are all based upon words in the first collection. So you can just pick out the words that you need that would go with the book that you're working on. So you get a couple pages just like that. Here's one of the sight words that are in the Bob book, ran. Same thing, you could color it in and you can trace the word and then write the word. So this one is a key to the activity where you have making sight words. So there's pictures on here, and then use this key to form the sight words. This is kind of a fun activity to do. And then you have some flashcards. They're done for you, which I think is great. So this one is a flashcard matching game. So you can turn them over and do the match. And then here we have a graphing game. So you would put a paperclip spinner here and spin it, and how many times it shows up, you would color in one of the color bars. So I think this one is really cool and fun, and you can use this along with your book as you go through the words. Oh, and then here's a couple more I didn't include. They have a dot the sight words. I love my do a dot markers that you could use with that. You just have to dot them the certain color wherever you see them, which is also a great visual scanning activity. And then they have writing sentences if your child is able to write sentences. I think this one is a little bit tough because if your child is not yet reading, then how are they going to write a sentence? So that would be hard. So maybe they just write the word. All right, and then another packet I found. This one had a lot more pages to it, but it had different activities. This one is a coloring the word, so it has each color, and so you just have to read the key and color accordingly. Here's the same word again, and it's a write and trace, and then also a fill in the blank. And she has all these different words in here. Here we have them written out bigger, and I think you can use these also as flashcards if you wanted to, but they're a great coloring activity. Here you can make it into a die and roll them and do some different games with that, which I think is good. It has this, I don't know if you can see it on my camera, but it has a line that you can cut it out and just fold it into a die. And then when you roll them, you would just graph them on here. This is a capitalization activity, but honestly, I think this is too hard if you're just introducing the Bob books, so I might skip that one. And then here are some sight word dominoes, so you play it like your traditional dominoes, and I think this is a really cool take on it. If you wanted to, you could also use real dominoes and just kind of tape the words on using post-it notes. Here is a coloring sheet that will show you your sight words on it, which is another fun take if you have a child that likes to use their crayons or markers. And then here's another key for some mystery messages, and then some coloring sheets. So as you can see, there are so many different activities out there that are already pre-made for you. So it's a no-brainer to just print a couple of these out and use the ones that apply to you. You guys know I like these ones from Lakeshore Learning. There's a whole bunch in here. I have pulled out ones that we typically use, but if you pull out the ones that you have in the book and you use them when you're reading and you place them on there and do a match throughout the book, that's also a fun activity. So Bob books focus on two things: your phonetic sounds and your sight words. So they introduce sight words a little bit less in the beginning, but if you did some pre-homework here and picked out some potential sight words that could show up as you're reading and set them up beside your book and do your reading, and as you come across them you can pull them aside and do a match as you're reading. It's just nice to have that visual there and reinforcement. You can also use this if there's a sight word that they just can't remember, because that always happens, and to pull them out and to work on those individually, so you can just do sight words like this if you wish. Another activity that I really think is fun is to get a regular notebook. I have this cute little notebook here and some letter stickers. Now I'm kind of using up the letter stickers that I have. I get them at Target usually, or the dollar store. Something like this will work. And then to make your own letter book. So if they're stuck on a word, stuck on a phonetic sound, use this to see if you can have their own little book of new words. So for example, maybe they weren't getting that word on, then they can find the stickers to make their own word in their book, something like that, and then they can have a whole book filled of all the words that they've learned, or maybe all the words that they need to work on. But taking on and off the stickers is just a fun way to do that, and so they can have their own book that they can take with them. If you've used Bob books and you love them, I want to hear about your experience too. Leave me a comment down below to let me know, and click subscribe to see more videos like this, and give me a thumbs up to show your love.